Hello, good morning everybody. Hope you are all really good. So last week I talked to you a little bit about skincare kind of products, what products are in a routine, are in a regime, because the beauty industry can sometimes come across a little bit confusing for those of you that are not yet kind of there on all aspects of looking after skin and knowing what products to use, etc, etc. So last week we talked about all the different kind of products that you can find in a skincare routine, and also we talked about the wild rose glow cream, which is beautiful, and that was a bit of a thrown in ad hoc kind of video. It wasn't planned, but it was really kind of sort of to talk to you a little bit about the skincare and how to use different products, etc, etc. Hello everybody, how are we all? Hope you are all really good. It's freezing here today. So we're going to start right at the beginning of skincare, and that is talking cleanse. Okay, cleansers. Now, I always used to say this to my clients when they used to come in and have facials with me. First and foremost, and this is kind of really important, if you don't really care about your skin, okay, if it's not something that bothers you, if it's not something that you're interested in, if you really don't really care whether you go to bed with your makeup on, whether you wash your face with soap and water, whatever, if you don't really care and you're not interested, turn off now. Okay, because what I'm going to tell you will just bore you to death and you'll be like yada yada yada. Okay, because if skincare isn't important to you, there's no point in listening to what I've got to say. However, if the skincare is important to you, even if you've just started to dive into the world of skincare and you really don't know what you're doing, for example, this is going to be really useful for you. Or perhaps you've been looking after your skin for quite a while and maybe you've hit a different age threshold, a different time of life, or maybe you've decided, actually, do you know what? All the things I've done in the past don't really seem to be working anymore, and you want to find out more about how you can look after your skin yourself, then watch this, okay? So what I'm going to tell you today is kind of transferable knowledge. So obviously I say this every time because, you know, I'm not hiding in the background here on this one, but the products I talk about will be Neal's Remedies, okay? They're all aromatherapy, they're all organic, award-winning UK British iconic skincare brand, been around for donkey's years, okay? That is what I'm going to talk about, but that doesn't mean that's what you have to be using. So really kind of take on board the information and maybe apply it to what you've already got at home, and then think about what I'm using at home. Is it working? Have I got the right thing? Do I need to change? Do I need to tweak? Do I need to kind of pivot around my routine? Okay, and it all depends on what your needs are, okay? Are you ready? Hello, Maria, just talking to you. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Mary. Okay, so cleansing. Why on earth is cleansing important? So as a qualified, trained beauty therapist that's been doing this for a long time, 30 years this year, it is kind of one of the stages when we are learning how to look after our client's skin. It's one of the stages that is like massive, okay? The information that we're taught is expansive. The techniques, the understanding, the knowledge, the product knowledge, how the skin works, why we do what we do is what we're taught right at the beginning as beauty therapists. So we really understand step one, which is cleansing, and the importance of it. So I know it's incredibly important, but for a lot of people, they don't invest in cleansing, and then they go along to beauty therapists and they have facials, and when the therapists are looking at the skin and asking questions about the skincare routine, very often we find that cleansing is a little bit hit and miss, and the cleansers that are being used on those particular clients don't really do what they need to be doing because they've chosen the wrong type of product for their skin. Okay, so we're going to talk about all of this, but cleansing is the most important step of your skincare. But I want you to take the image, the 1980s image of a woman sitting at a dressing table with a mirror, with all the time in the world, with her array of products and her cotton wool, and she's doing her cleansing and she's removing it with no worries, no cares in the world, and no time constraints. Okay, that isn't how we cleanse these days. All right, so I'm going to tell you how to cleanse. I'm going to talk about the different types of cleansers, and then you can work out what product you need going forward, or maybe you've even got the perfect product already. Okay, so let's talk about why cleanse. Okay, so dirt. You might think you've got a really clean face, but I can tell you, you haven't. It was really funny because many years ago I spent a week in London at Estee Lauder's headquarters. And we had an intensive week of training. And this is on top of already being a top qualified beauty therapist, okay? And we were in London, and one of the sessions that we went into to be taught about cleansers really highlighted pollution, really highlighted general dirt and grime that our skin picks up all day long without us even really paying any attention to or noticing. So dirt on the skin comes from all sorts of places. If you've been, let's say you've been cleaning, let's say then you've been hoovering, let's say then you put the rubbish out, let's say then you've got in the car, took the kids to school, let's say you got back, whacked on the kettle, run upstairs, gone to the loo, come back down, done a few other tasks, opened up some envelopes, sat down with your coffee, like that. Everything that's on your hands has just been transferred to your face. The exhaust fumes from traffic, the pollution out in outside, all of those things do actually land on our skin somehow and in some form, okay? So when we say dirt, I'm not talking about somebody's just wiped a load of soil down your face. I'm literally talking about the dirt and grime that we pick up when we are out and about doing everyday normal tasks, okay? So cleansing removes that, firstly. Also, our skins naturally produce oil. The amount of oil that our skins produce depends on you specifically as a person. It depends on your age, it depends on your hormones, it depends on your temperature, it depends on all of your genetics. So some people's skins are naturally more oily than others, but even still, the purpose of keeping skin supple is by releasing oil through the sebaceous glands. So you will have oil come through your skin. It might just be that you don't notice it, or it might be that you notice it kind of midday, bit of a shiny nose, bit of a shiny chin kind of thing. Or you might have really typically dry skin, not really notice it at all. But the fact is that your skin will be producing sebum, it will be producing oil, because that's how it keeps itself supple, okay? So oil can come on your skin at any stage. You know, if you get a bit hot and a bit sweaty, it can actually increase your sebaceous glands. If you're going through hormones, whether that's puberty, whether that's pregnancy, whether that's perimenopause, menopause, maybe you're on a medication, and things like thyroid, where it affects your temperature, you can suddenly get a bit more oily, a bit more sweaty, stuff like that. So cleansing can really help to remove all the excess oil, okay? It doesn't take away the natural production, you still continue to produce it, but it takes away the excess that sits on the skin, okay? I've talked a little bit about pollution, and that was very apt when I was in London all those years ago. We were literally taking off our makeup, but we could see that what was on our cotton wool wasn't just makeup, it had a different colour to it, and that was the pollution. So it was very, very interesting. Also bacteria. We get bacteria on the skin. You know, we might like blow our kids' noses, we might forget to wash our hands, we might then sit, or we might kind of rub our nose or do things with our hair, and you can get bacteria on the skin anywhere on the skin, okay? But when we're dealing with we're talking about a face obviously today, so when we're dealing with the face, what you don't really want to be doing is getting too much bacteria on the skin, because that can then go on and kind of result in things like spots and pimples and stuff like that. And obviously then any other impurities. So whether you work in a factory, whether you work around chemicals, you know, sort of all things like house cleaning products, for example, can be quite toxic. Obviously in high levels, and we don't use them in that kind of level typically, but if you've got an amalgamation of all different things going on in your house at the same time, that can cause it to be in the air, and obviously then it can land onto the skin. So there's lots of reasons why we get impurities. There's lots of reasons why things happen to our skin, but 99% of the time we can't see it, we can't identify with it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. So when we go to do our cleansing, the whole point is to remove all of that, get rid of all of the excess oil, all of the dirt, all of the pollution, all of kind of like the excess makeup, any bacteria that's sitting on the surface, any impurities that are lurking. It cleans everything, which means then the products you go on to use afterwards can actually get through that barrier, all those barriers that sit on the surface of the skin, and do their jobs. So if you don't cleanse properly, the likelihood is some of that is going to remain in your skin, and then if you then go and put on some really lovely skincare on top, that skincare won't be able to perform at its maximum because it can't get into the actual skin to do its job, because the skin's being blocked by all of those other things. Okay, so kind of hope that makes sense. Any questions, feel free to ask, because I will happily reply. So pollutants, dirt, impurities, bacteria all sit on the surface of the skin, and they can block the skin's pores, which then can lead to things like reactive skin, breakouts. I know for me, I have what they call combination skin, and most people do, to be quite honest. Most people do have combination skin. But I also have reactive skin, and I have reactive skin in the fact that if you do something with my skin, it reacts and responds very fast. It's different to sensitive. I don't have sensitive skin. So reactive skin often comes from an internal kind of place. So whether that's hormonal, whether that's temperature, whether that's stress, whether that's medication, whether that's diet, sleep, and so forth. So I tend to have quite reactive skin. So if I started doing things with my skin, or I had a facial, my face would go quite red, but it's not sensitive, okay? So keeping on top of a really good skincare routine really teaches you how to recognise how your skin is, what works for your skin and what your skin needs. So for me, with cleansing, making sure I've took everything off so my skin is really, really clear and ready to use the products, I can then use really good products on my skin to help my skin deal with whatever is going on today. So if I have got a bit of a reactive skin that morning, or it's a bit excessively oily, or it's a bit kind of break out the odd pimple, I can choose the right products that are going to do their job, but they're going to be able to do their job because they haven't got that kind of barrier of all that stuff sitting on the surface. So cleansing is really, really important. Cleansing is really important to help prevent breakouts. Now, I used to get a lot of questions about teenage skin, okay? Teenage skin predominantly is hormonal, but there's a whole load of things that teenagers do that make their skin worse. There's a whole load of products out on the market that actually make the skin worse. That's for a whole nother video, okay? But predominantly, if you've got a teenager who's got breakouts, the cleansing, exfoliating and moisturising their skin is what's going to help to keep it balanced. It's going to help keep it conditioned. It's going to help speed up any repair from any breakouts and tissue damage from squeezing. And it's going to help prevent scarring, okay? So if you've got teenagers, that's just very simple, quick advice. But if you've got teenagers, do not go to the supermarket and buy those products that strip the skin of oil, make the skin feel tight, make the skin look shiny, make the skin feel super squeaky clean. Because what happens is it oversensitizes the skin then pumps out more sebum, and the chain reaction just gets worse, okay? So they are not the products to use on teenage skin. Okay, also cleansing helps to regulate and balance the skin. So again, for somebody like me that's got combination and reactive skin, I actually use 3 different types of cleanser, depending on what my skin's doing on that day. Most of the time in the morning, I'm not going to lie, I'm a cheat. I use the micellar water. I haven't got any. I need to order some more from Neal, so I haven't got any to show you today, but I use the Neal micellar water. It's super quick. And it's actually on quite clean skin, to be fair, because I would have cleansed the night before. So this is what I use in the morning. It's quick. It removes anything that's happened to my skin overnight. Oil, sweat, etc., hair, grease, whatever. It feels quite nice and cool on my skin. So it's really good for me for a morning. So it's really good for balancing the skin. When I've got a bit of a hormonal skin, so it's a bit temperamental, few spots, and it's also feeling a bit dry, that combination hormonal joy that you get when you're 47, then I typically go for my calendula cleanser because it's quite calming. It's a cream base, and that really soothes my skin. Now, when I'm having a really good skin day and my skin is quite well behaved, I will then indulge in the radiance type of cleansing. So I will then use my Wild Rose Beauty Balm, because I'll be getting so much more out of it than just cleansing. So I'm going to go through this in a little bit more detail with you, but so I can use all different cleansers depending on how my skin is, but cleansing really helps to rebalance the skin. Okay, so it's really important. Another kind of benefit of cleansing, and especially if you use, I'm going to show you, use these bad boys, okay, is that when you cleanse, you're doing everything I've just said, but if you cleanse and remove with professional exfoliating sponges, don't use cotton wool. Please don't use cotton wool. Cotton wool is kind of like the therapist's enemy, okay? It does not remove everything. It leaves a residue on the surface. Do not choose cotton wool unless you're using it with micellar cleanser. These are professional, so you never used to be able to buy these on the high street. Obviously you can now. These are round, circular, exfoliating sponges. Okay, now when they are dry, they feel quite hard. As soon as they are submerged into water, they go all lovely and soft, okay? But they have a texture. As you can see, they have a texture. And what that does is once you put on your cleanser and you remove with the sponges, okay, you're actually giving yourself a bit of a double whammy, a bit of a bonus. You're actually exfoliating as well as cleansing. So top tip for everyone, use these when you are cleansing to remove your cleanser. Once you've removed your cleanser, you wash them out under the sink, leave them on the sink to dry during the day when you're at work, and they're ready to go for the evening, okay? Okay, so the different types of cleansers. So I've just mentioned a couple to you. I've got some down here, but I haven't got the micellar water because I've run out. So there's loads of types of cleansers on the market, and you have to figure out which cleanser is for you. And like me, if you're greedy, you have a selection. I think most beauty therapists do. We kind of work on a prescriptive basis. We don't treat our skin as one thing that's always the same, because it isn't. Our skin changes as we go through our monthly cycle. Our skin changes depending on our diet, on our sleep, on our stress. So for working therapists like me, we're very much prescriptive in the way that we would treat our clients, and we try to encourage our clients to be prescriptive as well. Obviously, that depends on your budget. So for me, actually, no, let me not tell you about me. Let me tell you about different cleansers. So you've got gel cleansers, you've got foam cleansers, you've got cream cleansers, oil cleansers, lotion stroke milk type of cleansers. You've got like balm or melt kind of cleansers. You've got micellar water, you've got exfoliating cleansers, you've got bar soaps that are specific for the face, so not what you do under your underarms, etc. And obviously you've got facial washes. So there's quite a few different types of cleansers, okay? Now, let me go back to me. So on a typical day, like I said, I would use micellar water every morning. Okay, quick, easy, nice and fresh, it's on quite natural skin anyway, so it's not going to do too much work. Okay, so that's what I would use in the morning. And then of an evening, if my skin is a bit spotty, is a bit reactive, and it's not looking great, okay, I would use a cream cleanser and I would use calendula. It smells lovely. It's a really, really nice, I'll show you the texture. It's a really, really nice texture. And this is the cleanser that I used pretty much by default on my clients. Obviously I had a variety, but this would always be my faithful go-to if I wasn't 100% sure what to use on the client for the day. So it would go on, it's got a lovely natural slick to it. You'd massage it in along your jaw, around your mouth, around your nose, around your eyes, your forehead, down your throat, onto your chest if need be. So this would be what I would use every single night, because it's also nourishing. So it's taking off all the makeup from the day, all of the things I've described, the pollution, the bacteria, the irritants, the whatever else, impurities, oils, everything. Okay, it would remove all of that and it would leave your skin really soft, and you can really feel and see how clean it looks. Okay, if my skin was okay, but I maybe was feeling a bit tired and I was maybe noticing fine lines were looking a bit more obvious for that day, then I would use the same type of cleanser, so it'd be cream, but I would use the frankincense because this has got anti-aging properties in it. And I would use that again of an evening. So again, very similar properties. Now the frankincense probably is just a tiny little bit richer, because obviously it's jam-packed full of anti-aging ingredients. Let me just remove that. So evening, depending what I need, I would use a cream cleanser. Like I said, when I was feeling kind of like a bit decadent and my skin was looking all right, then I would probably go with the Wild Rose Beauty Balm as a cleanser. Again, I would put it on, I would really work it in. Now the Wild Rose Beauty Balm almost goes like to an oil texture when it's on. It's brilliant because it works on a holistic level as well as a skincare level. And I would predominantly do that and then leave it on my skin maybe for 5 minutes, go off and do something, come back and again rinse off with my sponges. So that is my Wild Rose Beauty Balm. Okay, it's a wonder balm. I talk about it quite a lot, and one of the original purposes of it was for cleansing. Okay, so in Neal's Yard we've got quite a few cleansers that you can choose from. So if you want something nourishing and rich, you kind of want to go down the cream route. If you want something that's quite lightweight, you want to go down the lotion and the milk route. If you want something that's quick, then you can go to the micellar water or the facial washes. If you want something decadent, then you're going to want to go for either the Wild Rose Beauty Balm for the radiance and glow, but we also do an amazing anti-aging melt cleanser, which is frankincense intense. So you're going to need to have a little look on the website if you are interested in the Neal's Yard products, and have a little look at which ones you feel you're going to need. And you might want two. You might want a micellar water in the morning and then a cream cleanser in the evening. You might want a facial wash for the shower in the morning and a cream cleanser in the evening, and that would be great to start off with. But then you might decide, okay, I've got the hang of this cleansing lark, and I want to now start really kind of giving myself a weekly boost. Then maybe once a week you might want to do yourself a little facial, and on that facial use an up level product. So either use the Wild Rose Beauty Balm as the cleanser, or use the frankincense intense melt as a cleanser, and it will give your skin a real kind of therapist level boost just from cleansing. Now, to give you kind of ideas on prices, because this, I mean, I look in the high street and sometimes I'm like, are you kidding me? You paying that for that? Insane. I've always said Neal Remedies is mid-range product pricing for prestige range products. Okay, so you're paying not a lot of money for something that is top-notch quality. So in the first instance, whatever you purchase is going to be flipping amazing. Okay. To give you an idea of the cleansers that we've got, so the calendula cleanser, ta-da, is £19. Currently it's on sale at $15.20. The soothing milk is $19, currently on $15.20. The frankincense intense melt I just talked to you about is £42, now at $33.60 at the moment. The frankincense rejuvenating cleanser, which is that one I just showed you, is £20 and it's now down to $16 at the moment. The Comfort and Hydrate micellar water is £20, currently down to $14 at the moment. The Wild Rose Beauty Balm, again, if you're up leveling this one, is £43 and it comes with a muslin cloth. And the muslin cloth has kind of a similar texture to this in the fact that it helps to exfoliate the skin as well. Then the facial washes that we do are Palmarosa, orange flower, rose and frankincense. And they are all $19 and currently £15.20. So I will put the link above and you can go and have a little look. And then when you're deciding which one, have a look at what your needs are. Because if you're looking at the washes, the Palmarosa is for kind of breakout, blemish, unsettled, reactive, sensitive kind of skin. Orange flower is very nourishing, so that's kind of more for dehydrated, dry skin, but without the aging element, okay? Rose is very much for radiance and glow and conditioning. And frankincense is kind of steering you towards the anti-aging. So have a little look on my website, see what you kind of come up with. Like I say, you've got your milks, you've got your micellar water, you've got your cleansers, which is the cream-based cleansers, you've got your melts, you've got your balms, and you've got your washes. So you do actually have quite a lot to choose from. Normally, most people just pick any old cleanser, and I'm hoping today, praying, that you realise actually get the right cleanser for you. Because if it suits your skin, and it works on your skin, you're going to get results on your skin. And when you start to see your skin look better and better and better, you start to really understand the power that sits behind an amazing skincare brand, okay? But to see the results, you should see some of the results instantly, but actually cleansers are just like some of our premium products. The effect of really cleansing your skin well can really come into its own at about 90 days, sort of 3 months in. And I know from a working therapist, when I've seen clients come for regular facials and look after their skin at home, it's normally 3 to 6 months that you really start to see, oh my God, their skin looks good. And they start to get comments like, oh my God, your skin looks really good. Your skin looks really glowy. Your skin looks really soft. You've hardly got any wrinkles. Your skin looks really good condition. And that comes down to a lot to do with what you do with your skin, okay? But don't forget, skincare is surface deep, okay? If you really want to look after your skin, then you need to look after your well-being and your health too, okay? So that's it for today. Hope that's been useful. I will check to see if there's any comments when I go back into the house. I will also put the link above so you can go check out the website too. If you've got any questions, please ask me. And don't forget, if you want to book in for a one-to-one consultation, it's completely free. We look at all of the products that you're currently using. They might be perfect, they might need tweaking, but I can also talk to you about Neal products if you want to add in new products to your skincare routine. So have an amazing day, and I will see you, what day is it today? It's Tuesday. I will see you Thursday, and we're going to be talking about toners. Okay, take care. Bye.